Within the past 10 years, General Motors has lost all of its sales, almost all of them in Europe, Australia, Thailand, the UK, many markets worldwide, New Zealand, the list goes on. It's now pretty much a North America and Central and South America company only. Its market share in China has shriveled and is losing steam rapidly. But General Motors has a plan. It will sell its electric vehicles in all those markets. It will make them in China at a cost that, well, American companies and European companies cannot compete with. And it will claw back the market share that it has lost. General Motors has clearly made this decision. It's evident in the recent statements that it has made. I'm really surprised the media have not realized that General Motors has made an enormous pivot within the past 5 days. I've mentioned a few times that General Motors are focusing only on the United States and China. They're losing market share in China, so therefore they need to hold on to as much market share as they can in Northern America. In China, yeah, it's sort of game over for them. But in the USA and Canada and even Mexico, General Motors can continue to make large profits on their vehicles if they take electrification seriously. However, General Motors just went and did something that I don't believe anyone really noticed. I think it's very clear they've completely changed their global strategy. I mean, completely. And this, in my opinion, could potentially double General Motors' sales within the next 10 years, 5 years possibly even. This strategy is what most likely other Western automakers, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, will do. They're already doing this. But it does mean something that you won't like. It does mean that China will take a larger slice of the automotive market worldwide, and it does mean China could end up being pretty much the only country that cars are made in outside of the United States. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to all the new subscribers, great to have you. Within the last 10 years, General Motors pulled out of most car markets that it sold its vehicles. It was losing money. That's the reason they did this. They pulled out of most places in Europe. They pulled out of Australia at a huge cost them billions of dollars. They pulled out of places like New Zealand. They pulled out of, well, every right-hand drive market in the world. They said, you know what? We're making a loss. Let's cut our losses. And it cost them billions to do this. They had to pay out all their dealers. They had to pay all these massive fees in court fines where they'd already agreed to contracts with dealerships. But they did this at a tremendous cost. But all of a sudden, they've completely changed. They've completely pivoted, changed their strategy. It's very clear they now plan to do what Volkswagen, BMW, Audi, likely Mercedes, probably all German automakers and probably all of European automakers are starting to do. The Dacia Sandero, many European luxury EVs, many Volkswagen Group EVs. Where are they made now? China. People are saying this sort of stuff online. They're saying, I wouldn't buy this car because it's made in China, but I would buy a BMW, but I would buy an Audi. And these people don't realize that actually the very car they just purchased was in fact manufactured in China. And if it wasn't, a very large percentage of the components of their European vehicle were manufactured in China. In particular, the battery pack. Where did that come from? The battery cells. Where do those come from? Much of the vehicles are now coming from China. Even the software now is done by Chinese companies. And General Motors has said to themselves, rather than continue to lose market share in China, which we know is inevitable, there's nothing we can do about that now, that's what they think, let's take back the right-hand drive market. Let's enter that market, which is ripe for the picking. That's what they're planning on doing. Now, these thoughts came to my mind when General Motors revealed they were re-entering car markets with the Cadillac Lyriq. This story in and of itself doesn't really prove my point. It's only one particular model, the Cadillac Lyriq that's made in China. Now, General Motors first said, oh yeah, we're going to send this vehicle to from America to other places, but you know, in the future, we may send the Chinese version somewhere down the line, just quietly. So it looked as though really GM was trying to make it look like it wasn't going to send EVs made in China to all these right-hand drive markets and to try to take back market share in places where it had given up on. But all of a sudden, it turns out, well, it will be. GM have now revealed that not only will the Cadillac Lyriq be made in China, but so will the Silverado. An electric Silverado will be made in China for Chinese consumers who don't have much choice when it comes to electric pickup trucks. They really don't. There is not many manufacturers meeting the demand in China for pickup trucks. And really, most of them, their product is not that compelling. I've had some experience driving them and they're okay. But honestly, the Americans do pickup trucks incredibly well, best in the world. And that's what happens when you've got decades of experience. So General Motors can take back market share in China, in Australia, in Thailand, very big pickup truck market in Thailand, many right-hand drive markets. It will manufacture EVs in China and send them to right-hand drive car markets. This is something that makes sense for General Motors. Is it good for global relations? Is it good for the fact that China is now becoming basically on its way, at least, to becoming the biggest automotive power in the world? Probably not. But for General Motors, avoiding bankruptcy, it's a good plan. So GM will make electric Silverados. It will make Cadillac Lyrics. It will make a range of EVs that it already makes in China. And General Motors went, you know what? It's not that hard to make an EV in right-hand drive. It's easier than it is with an internal combustion vehicle. There's less in the way. There is no transmission tunnel. There is no transmission. It's much simpler to make an EV in right-hand drive than an internal combustion engine vehicle. And that's the reason General Motors initially pulled out. Because making cars in right-hand drive for a smaller market, they believed wasn't worthwhile. But now, if you're making them in China, where the costs are far lower, and if you're making these vehicles in larger numbers, which is what GM clearly plan on doing, then all of a sudden you can take back market share in places that you had lost, in places that you've given up on. So here's GM's plan. Re-enter the Chinese car market with electric pickup trucks. No one is really doing this. We've now discovered that General Motors have been planning to make the electric Silverado. Will that likely come to Australia and Thailand, two of the biggest pickup truck markets in the world? Yes, they are actually. It's crazy, but it's true. More than likely, it will. It will be the only car manufacturer making full size, when I say full size, I mean, American size pickup trucks that are fully electric and sending them to right-hand drive markets. It will have this niche all unto itself. And this is a growing car market. In Australia, sales of American-sized pickup trucks have increased by 350% over the past 3 years. 350%. Thailand, the increase is going up. It's going up there as well. So GM is changing its strategy. Before, it was contracting. It's dying in China, and it really has become an American-only company. But now it's changed its global strategy. Make as many EVs as we can in China, sell them to right-hand drive car markets, make electric pickup trucks in China, sell them to the Chinese, who do believe that Americans make better pickup trucks than the Chinese do, which is 100% correct. And we can take back all the market share we've lost over the past 10 years. I think from a company's perspective, this is a smart move from General Motors. Hopefully, it works for them. Do you think it will? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching.